Welcome to the Northpoint Guys podcast. My name is Michael.
And my name is Josiah. And we're excited. We've been away for a couple months, took a break.
It's been a while.
So it has been a while. So we're ready to get things going again. So we hope you're ready to listen in and to participate. So we're wondering, okay, we've been doing interviews,
Right.
For students. And so we're going to continue that, right? So we're going to get some interviews with staff and faculty, and some of our students will be back not too long from now.
It's coming. School is coming back.
It is. But, so I've never worked at a school before until coming here. And one of the questions that I get is so what are you doing over the summer? You're like, no one's there, right? And so I thought maybe we could talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
What does Northpoint look like over the summer?
Because there's been a lot happening.
There's been a lot happening.
Our goal is that when you get back on campus, if you're a current student, that it's not the exact same as the way you left it.
Yeah, I'm hoping for some moments, aha, that looks nice.
I think we got
That's
some
cool.
aha moments happening.
I think so. So so we'll just chat about that today. Is what's been happening, and then what are some of the things that you guys can anticipate whenever you come back to campus, without giving too much away.
Yeah. Or if you're a new student watching, maybe you're coming in the fall for the first time.
Yeah.
Brand new freshman or transferring in. Here are some things that you can be looking forward to that once you arrive, you could just be jumping right on the boat.
Yeah.
with
And
it.
if that's you, I can't wait to meet you. My name's Josiah Smith, campus pastor here, and come.
Yeah, we're excited.
So some of you may have met Dwelling Place over the summer, right? They're
good.
Let's just dive in.
They're good people.
Let's dive in there. So over the summer, one of the things that happens at Northpoint is we send out a ministry team called Dwelling Place,
Right.
Which is a musical worship team. So they've been going to camps, and let's see, they were at Kentucky this summer.
Potomac.
They were in Potomac, down in Virginia,
Southern
right?
New England, New York.
Yeah, New York. And we had some students, not Dwelling Place, but some students I know at Pendle Camp and probably a couple other camps this summer. So that's one thing that happens over the summer at Northpoint. So you're the dean of students.
Right.
There are no students. So
Right.
what does the dean of students do when the students aren't here?
I spent about the first 3 or 4 weeks of summer actually flying to the Midwest and preaching at churches, talking to pastors. So within a span of 3 or 4 weeks, I preached about 4 or 5 times at churches.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot.
I was in youth groups, Sunday morning services, senior adult services. Anywhere that I could just talk about what God's doing at Northpoint.
Yeah.
And so it was fun. It really was. I got to see not only some old friends, but I got to meet new friends and introduce them to Northpoint. So everywhere from northern Missouri to Kansas. And then I was even at Southern Missouri camp. I helped on the rec staff and I repped the college and got to meet a lot of awesome people there.
Yeah.
And so, there's a lot of people in the Midwest, like I said, specifically Missouri and Kansas, that are excited about Northpoint. And we're even seeing that this fall. We have 3 brand new students from Kansas that will be here this fall.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So,
that's amazing.
Props to Tanner. Tanner bringing them in.
Tanner Snavely, you are the man. You are the man.
Yeah.
And
So,
Tanner's traveling with Dwelling Place this summer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But spent a few weeks just traveling and like I said, preaching. A couple times helped out on worship teams for some churches and just wherever I can serve, because that's our attitude at Northpoint. We want to serve, and it's not about us just showing up and everything. It's no, we want to serve and whatever's needed. So
Though we usually call him Star-Studded Scott.
Star-Studded Scott.
Dean Stars. Anyway, so. And you would not be the only one who does that, but we have a few other people at the school who would travel and speak. Dean Munley's been around.
You did some traveling too.
I did a little bit of traveling, not quite as much as you, but yeah. And preached in an Indonesian congregation recently, which is fun. And we oversee a church in Wells, Maine. Have continued, being active in that over the summer as well. So getting out and repping the school is one thing that we do.
But then once we got back on campus, we were pretty active in some things.
Yeah. I feel like I have spent a lot of the summer outside of the office,
right?
Wearing work clothes. I feel like, so we've gotten some projects that we've done, which are pretty exciting. So the room we're in right now, I don't know that we have a name for it yet. We just
our brand new podcast studio.
Yeah.
And green room. It'll double as a green room.
Absolutely. So
I bet there's some current students watching right now. Where are they?
Yeah, they can't figure out, right?
Yeah.
What's this table? Yeah. So that'll be something new when you come back.
Yeah, the dining hall looks really good, doesn't it?
New tables, yeah. So so that's been fun. And we did spend a while too. I think one of the biggest projects that I've been involved with over the summer so far is we painted the chapel.
Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah. So
you may have seen some pictures on Northpoint's list for
Yeah.
your returning students, and they look really good. But
I don't know that the pictures do it
don't even
justice.
do it justice.
It's true.
So really, it's once you get here, it's one of those, wow.
Yeah.
This
so
looks good.
Yeah, so we've taken some things down, gotten rid of some things, threw some stuff away. We're adding some stuff, and then we're talking. We got a couple more projects to see if we can finish. The rest of the summer's looking a little busy, but I think we're gonna do it. So the chapel's it's looking good. The studio, we'll have to show you the studio sometime. We'll have to do a little, we got a couple more pieces to add.
Should we tell them where the studio is?
I guess we should.
Yeah.
If I were walking
If you were
on
to
North
walk
Point's campus, where would I go?
If you were to walk in the chapel and you happen to wander on the stage, it's
I'm
the
on the
door.
stage.
So if you're walking onto the stage, it's that door when you go to the right.
Yes,
and you walk through
that's
that.
where we are.
And so it has been like kind of the green room, storage room. So yeah, that's where we're all.
I would say it's been more of a storage room. Yeah,
That's true.
I mean, Matt and I, there was a lot of stuff we carried out of here.
But behind the camera right now, obviously you can't see it, but there's chairs and it's just really comfortable. So you have the podcast studio side, and
It's
we'll have
vibing.
more
I think
decorations.
that's what we'd say.
Our interior decorator Chloe is working on things.
Absolutely.
I think we should elevate her to producer level.
Actually, you just mentioned Chloe's name though, which reminded me of another project that Chloe worked on.
Oh yes,
and it is incredible.
yeah.
So
The married student atrium on the
Talk about
third floor in
Talk about
Academy
it.
Hall. If you're a married student or if you're going to visit a married student in Academy, you are welcome to use the atrium on the third floor. It looks so
It
good.
even has a little sign that says Academy Atrium.
Yeah.
And it's just legit. I mean, it feels like you're sitting in World Market or IKEA.
It
like,
really does.
So nice.
Yeah, so shout out to Chloe.
Chloe
She's
Primus.
done a lot this summer for the school.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So that room, this room. So like we said, this is right off the chapel, green room / studio.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be able to make this even available for students if they want to record things in here as well.
Yeah. We'll make some ground rules about how we schedule and stuff like that. But absolutely, it's going to be open for the students to use. It's going to be a good tool, good resource.
Yeah.
So.
And then, I mean, our podcast itself has been pretty busy. Now, it was really Matt, but
That's true. That's true.
There's an Instagram page for our podcast, so make sure you check that out, Northpoint Guys podcast.
Yeah.
And so you can get some of the behind the scenes looks
Shout
of
out
like
to-
how we do the podcast and all that. And then also, we're now on Apple Podcasts.
Hey.
We made
That's
it.
good. That's really good.
I mean, like Spotify
That's-
was cool, but
I mean, typically I would listen to my podcast on Apple.
I do. So
So
I would
that's
subscribe.
nice.
I've already subscribed.
It's nice to be there. I think I did as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great. So Apple and Instagram and Spotify.
Yeah. And
You
that's all Matt.
I did.
Matt did all that. Producer Matt.
Shout out to Matt Caforio.
Yeah.
The man behind the camera, the man behind the computer.
He literally is the man behind the camera and computer.
Does
right now.
everything.
Yeah.
So another way, I didn't realize this, so maybe you didn't realize this either, but another thing that we produce is a magazine.
Yep.
And so we have our summer edition that just came out a couple days ago.
Right. The Vision magazine.
Online, Vision magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
I got it in an email. Again, I'm newer here, so I didn't know about it. I'm like, oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah. So it's
So
mostly for alumni. It comes out twice a year. There's like a winter edition and a summer edition.
Yeah.
And then every other year, general council years, they'll put out a third edition for general council.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that the summer edition though for this year just came out, and it's digital, which is cool. It's like when you look at it, it's one of those that when you click the next page, like the page
flip,
folds
the digital
open.
page flip.
Yeah.
Love
So
it.
you can find the links for that. If you didn't receive an email about that, you can find the link on Northpoint's list or different pages and stuff.
Yeah.
But then also there'll be paper copies around campus once those are printed.
Okay.
But it looks good.
So just because I don't know. So if I'm an alumnus out there and I'm like, oh, cool, the
Right.
Vision magazine, what happened with that? Where do they find it? How do they get there?
That's a great
I'm
question.
assuming we're going to post it on our Facebook,
Yeah.
right?
I'm sure on the alumni pages on Facebook. And then I think if you go to our website, you can find it there under alumni.
There we go. We
Yeah.
do have an alumni tab. Another tab we have is events. If you go to our website, northpoint.edu, click on Campus Life, go down to events. we got some exciting stuff coming up, and that's part of what we're talking about here too. But before we go there, I did want to say with the whole magazine thing, one of the things that was in the magazine was pictures of a beautiful prayer garden.
Right.
Which is something, we had a team from Park Hills, Missouri. You guys are incredible, by the way. They came in the spring semester and did a lot of work up in Wells, Maine with our church there, Mount Zion Chapel, did work around here around campus, and they helped finish basically the prayer garden, and it looks amazing.
Right.
Looks so good. So,
well, and can we say this is just the beginning of what's happening over there?
That's true.
So
that's true.
I will say no more, but maybe if we get Dr. Arnett on the Northpoint Guys podcast,
maybe he can fill us in.
He can spill the beans.
Which actually, that reminds me of something else that happens over the summer, though, is our staff chapels.
Mm-hmm.
So every Wednesday, we have a staff chapel, and it's a briefer chapel, shorter than our typical Monday through Thursday chapel. But that's been a great time where, we'll have someone typically, someone here on campus lead worship, time of prayer for one another. But then we have speakers. And so we've been inviting speakers from the area churches to come, and it's been dynamite. It's been really good.
You've done a fantastic job getting these speakers in.
I've enjoyed connecting. It's been so good.
Well, even the one we had just recently, people on our street team would probably be very familiar with him.
Yeah. So we had Ron Mills, who is the president and founder of Common Ground Ministries, and the executive director, Bill Sperdioni, was with us.
Mm-hmm.
So he shared a little about Common Ground. We've had Pastor Joey Thompson from Restoration Road. Several students go to his church there. Coming up, we actually have one of our students speaking, and then we have Chuck Ojua coming to lead worship with us. We've got Pastor Mary from Liberty Church, and so it's just been fun connecting with these pastors and worship leaders, and just the presence of God in those chapels. It's been good.
And one of the people you had, Pastor Milagro. Milagro. I want to make sure I say it right. I mean, she fantastic job, but also, her and her organization have been so active on our campus. They have offices in Academy Hall now, and they have been connecting the school with places in the community. And then even as we are talking right now, there's some key leaders from multiple Hispanic organizations that are talking about how Northpoint can better serve the Hispanic community through our Hispanic site. So we are going, pedal to the metal, full speed on our Hispanic programs here at Northpoint. Yeah.
Which, and that leads us into a larger picture too. Like, it's just cool what's happening with extension sites.
Right.
So, which going back to Pastor Milagro, fantastic job. And her organization is a Hispanic, it oversees several Hispanic churches. Well, I say several, like there's 80 some or more pastors part of this association. So they have their offices here on campus. Which is awesome. So we're going full-fledged with the Hispanic program. So a Spanish-speaking student could come and get a full degree. Right?
In Spanish. And still be a part of our chapel. Still, if they want, they could live on campus, still be a part of the dorm life, everything. So they can take their classes in Spanish. Even here on campus, they could take it online. It's going full speed.
So that's exciting.
And you mentioned extension sites because things happening on this campus are not the only Northpoint things happening. I mean, we have locations all across the country.
Well, we mentioned one earlier, actually. They're Park Hills, Missouri. So they sent a team here, and they're actually this fall are launching a satellite campus or an extension site of Northpoint. And so we're pumped about that. And I was actually I was talking to one of our enrollment specialists this morning, and he was telling me Park Hills, there were several students there with the name Park Hills beside him. I'm like, oh, that's awesome, So let's see. So Park Hills, Missouri, there's going to be a site opening this fall.
Cincinnati's launching this fall.
Cincinnati, Ohio. Yeah, awesome. That's Justin Hansen, right? Yeah. So that'll be great. We're also launching one in Bloomington, Indiana. With Dr. Pridemore. So it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be
the Warehouse Church. And
Texarkana's going. It's
Texarkana's already there.
It's cruising.
So it's awesome. That's in Arkansas. So Indiana, Arkansas. I don't know.
Crestwood, Kentucky. So they're starting a new cohort there.
For the master's program.
Because
same thing with Maine, Bangor, Maine.
And I think even in Kentucky, you can get going in your bachelor's as well, I think. So. double check on that.
So these are things that are happening, that have been happening, but like right now it's like really a lot's happening with it. But if you go to the website, northpoint.edu, because you're like, these guys kind of know what they're talking about, but I want to know more.
Additional locations on the website.
Yeah, if you go to the top right of the web page, you'll see additional locations, and you can click on that for more information, get in contact with the right people.
Laredo,
the site
Texas.
directors.
That's one of our Hispanic sites.
Yeah,
La Palma, California. That's a full site.
Right. Yeah. And then, of course, there's always online, so we have a lot of students who are online, which was a big deal, of course, recently with COVID. But we continue to have online students, people that may not come to the main campus here in Haverhill, but they study online. Yeah. So we have a knock at the door. It is Mr. Trevor Primus. Come on.
This is like Mr. Rogers. You never know who's going to show up.
This is something we didn't mention yet, but Trevor, we're talking about like what has been happening over the summer. So why don't you just take a seat here? And so, Trevor, you've been busy doing a lot over the summer as well as helping with like grounds and maintenance. And so give us the perspective of someone who's been working with Chris Magondo or Jason Hall. Like, what all you guys do over the summer?
We goof off a lot.
Good. Well, that's necessary.
We make sure that the campus is in top peak condition for when the students come back. Yeah. So my job specifically has been beautification.
Okay.
So when students come in and they see the trees are trimmed up and the lawn's nice and clean and there's new seed and new flowers, that's me.
They say, "Thank you, Mr. Primus."
Yeah, they should.
Thank you.
I expect them all to come to me.
Trevor, we need to know what your favorite snack is, and everyone should be obligated to bring you that, I think, is what.
My favorite snack. Oh, no.
Students, you have plenty of time if you're watching this.
I'm so indecisive. Reese Cups.
That's a good choice. That's a good choice. Yeah. So, the lawn has looked great. You guys have been taking care of it. The trees are trimmed. It's a wonderful thing. Boilers are working. Yeah. That's Chris's thing, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't touch those.
But that is, I know that's a big deal over the summer.
It is.
So we're appreciative to you guys for sure.
We appreciate
Thankful.
You guys too. So.
And Trevor was a big part of painting the chapel too.
Oh,
a lot of maintenance guys. Yes, everyone, please clap at your computer. Very good. So, yeah.
That was fun. I'm gonna go back to work now.
All right. Well, thanks. Hey, thanks for joining the Northpoint Guys podcast.
Yeah, that was fun.
See ya. So
we'll actually have Trevor as a guest sometime on the podcast because we're going to talk to him about esports and what that looks like for the fall.
So, all right. So we've been talking about what has been happening over the summer, but let's shift a little bit before we get going too long here. Let's talk about some things that are going to happen or, are being planned. So you mentioned esports. Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. So we had a great esports season this past year. And this past year really was kind of a, test everything out and just get in.
It's like a beta season.
Yeah. And proof of concept.
Pre-season.
Yeah. But we were in, we even won a game. I mean, it was great. So now that we kind of understand how the conference works, the National Association of Collegiate Esports, how the teams work and everything, we can really launch, 100% in this fall. And I still proudly say, and we're really going to flesh this out this year, that Northpoint's esports program is the first esports program that I'm aware of, so worldwide as far as I know, where our primary purpose is to train students in how to share the gospel through an online gaming platform.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been said that the online gaming community is one of the largest unreached people groups in the world right now.
Yeah.
And so we're training students in how to share the gospel to them, and we're going to have fun and play and all that. But
it is interesting though, because when you talk about missions or the missional church, like we're not just talking about nations or geographical locations. We are talking people groups and subcultures.
Right.
And in the gaming community is an entire subculture in and of itself.
Exactly.
And so, that's good that our students are getting exposure to that and being a part of that for sure.
So that's happening. We'll talk more details as we get closer.
Yeah.
But not only with esports, but we're tiptoeing in the world of athletics, my friend.
So you're telling me you've got esports, but also take the E away and just sports.
Sports.
Amazing.
So we actually have scheduled games, basketball and volleyball, against another school, like real
so like intercollegiate games.
Yes, exactly. So we are playing Word of Life Bible Institute in Pottersville, New York, in
Okay.
a basketball game and a volleyball game. And so if you play either one of those, we're going to have practices. And now, like it's not a year-long commitment by any means. It's not a semester
When is
commitment.
training camp?
Training camp starts now.
Yes.
No, it's once you show up on campus, we'll start talking about it, and we'll have practices. We'll put a team together. We'll
right.
have a coach. It's going to be fun. We'll have uniforms, all that.
I
and
love
then
it.
all leading up to games, I believe, in September, late
Okay.
September, or October, 1 to 2. So in the fall, though,
Yeah.
we'll have a basketball game and a volleyball game against them.
That's something to get excited about. I don't know if that's ever happened here or not.
I don't know.
Perhaps.
But it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
And then not only that, not only intercollegiate sports, but we're really going to be amping up intramural sports.
Okay.
So we're going to have volleyball tournaments, basketball tournaments,
Yes.
ultimate frisbee. I mean, all these things, cornhole. And we're not just talking about a day-long tournament. We're talking about a season
Right,
where
yeah.
you put a team together,
Yeah.
and then for the whole semester, the whole season, however long it is, 3-4 weeks of a season, who knows? We'll put all the details together, but your team will play against other teams for that whole season. And at the end of it, we'll have a winner of that intramural tournament.
That's exciting. You know, I have a shirt actually. It's probably too small now, but I was the intramural volleyball champion
Wow.
at CBC.
Wow.
Yeah.
So are you
Now-
saying students should try to snag you?
I'm saying
On
we're
their
gonna make a staff team and crush everyone.
That would be true.
All
That would
right,
be.
maybe that was a little too
Yeah.
much, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. So we'll have intramural sports going on, and so we're excited about that. I mean, they'll be all throughout the school year. So when it gets colder, we'll do the indoor sports, whether it's basketball or indoor volleyball or even indoor soccer. We could do that. And then whenever
Yeah.
it's warmer, so in the fall or late spring, that's when we could do outdoor volleyball, ultimate frisbee, things like that. We can even have disc golf tournaments, but that even leads me
like it.
to we're going to have clubs on campus and
Okay.
really lean into those as well. So we have the art club that's kind of been happening quietly this last year, but we're going to have things like the art club or disc golf club or
Awesome.
different clubs that students can be a part of.
Yeah.
So there's going to be stuff happening on campus all throughout this year. And here's one thing I'm kind of excited about. We don't have a name for it yet, so maybe you can help us out.
All right. Okay.
But most likely, I'm looking at Fridays. But every Friday night, until it gets too cold, so this will go for a while. But every Friday night when school starts back up, have whether we call it a patio party or Friday night fires or something, but hanging out, say 8 p.m. or something like that. I'm just dreaming right now. But
Patio party.
patio parties, 8 p.m.
Love it.
Friday nights. We'll have the bonfire going. We'll have volleyball. We'll have some lights set up. We'll have cornhole, food, s'more stuff, just hanging out because we want to set the culture that Northpoint is a community.
Yeah.
It's not just something
Yeah.
where you're here for school and then you go home on the weekends,
Right.
but Northpoint is a community and we hang out and that's just what we do.
Yeah.
We're a
Well,
community.
that's exciting. Yeah, because it's not. Yeah, you're right. It's not like we're just going to classes together. Like, yeah, we are family in a sense. Like, we are friends. We
Yep.
like to hang out, and it's good to know that the campus won't be dead on the weekends. Like, there'll be
Right.
stuff happening. So
Yeah. Oh, there'll be plenty of activity.
that's exciting. That's exciting.
Which is great because we're getting students from not just the Northeast, but internationally. We had quite a few international students come in this last year, but
Yeah.
then all across the United States as well. So obviously Eustace isn't going to Lithuania every weekend.
He's not.
So he could be. He could be. I don't think he is. So we're going to have students who are here on the weekends. Well, let's get this campus active and involved, and it's just going to be good.
yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm excited. That's awesome. So what else we got going here?
Well, so you have some conferences going on that you're going to be in charge of launching, this next year.
Yeah, so one of the things I've been working on over the summer, right now actually, is we're organizing the fall calendar, of course, for chapels, which is exciting. I'm telling you, we got some great speakers coming in. We're gonna have some great times.
You gave me a peek.
worship.
You gave me a peek at the chapel
Dude.
schedule, and I got a little excited.
It's good.
So
It's so good.
I did.
I am excited for chapels. You guys don't know what's happening, but once you do, you'll be excited too. Yeah, and so one of the things we're gonna do with chapels this year too. So this is for any alumni listening or anyone in the Haverhill area or beyond. We want to leverage, like, we're having these great speakers in. We're having our worship teams leading us in worship. Like, great things are happening in chapel, and so we want to be able to open that up a little bit to, like, if you want to participate in that, we want you to. So if you're an alumni and you would like to come visit chapel, we'd love to have you in our chapel services. And, of course, we'll go through, stop by security, get a name badge, all that stuff. But, we'd love to have you join for our chapel services. And then, we are going to do some conferences. So we're going to actually kick the year off. Our first full week of chapels, we're going to have a worship workshop.
Oh, neat.
So we're going to have some people coming in, doing some teaching, instruction on worship, the theology of worship, but also some practical aspects of, how do you know your role in a band, like the drummer and the bass, what's happening there? And so
there's a lot happening
there.
there.
So some of the practical aspects of worship and music. But then that week also we're going to have some people speaking about worship because, in my mind, what better way to start the school year than to focus on worshiping God?
Right.
Why are we doing what we're doing? Because one day every knee is going to bow. The end goal of all this is worship of Jesus.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about worship. Yeah. And then, September, we have our homecoming. So for all the alumni out there, we want to see you here. Later that month, we're going to have our missions emphasis week. And just met with one of the students who's helping organize that. And it's exciting, some of the speakers we have coming there too. Missionaries from around the world who are going to be here sharing with us some of their experiences. Yeah, so that's going to be a great week. And we're actually going to host a conference later in November too, just a one-day conference, some morning and afternoon sessions on the missional church. And we haven't fully fleshed that out, but kind of the idea of what is the church? Mm-hmm. What does it have to look a certain way, or are there other ways it can look? And what are some trends that are happening? What might church look like a year from now, 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah.
And so it's going to be fun having some of those conversations. So that's kind of the lineup for the fall, but then we're going to do some more stuff in the spring too.
Right. We got to bring back the youth pastor conference.
It was great.
Yeah. This last year, right towards the end of the semester, we launched what will be our yearly youth pastor conference here at Northpoint. Yeah. And I love it. I mean, youth ministry background here, but it's an opportunity for us to not just train future ministers, which is what we do, future youth pastors, but to invest in current youth pastors and youth volunteers and youth workers. Right. So back in the spring, we had, I believe, 23 youth pastors from not just New England, but Midwest as well, who serve in their churches faithfully. And so we brought in the national youth director. We brought in the 2 district youth directors from Southern New England and Northern New England. We just had an incredible youth pastor conference. So I'm excited. If that was just the beginning and we had 23 incredible youth pastors, incredible time, I'm excited what this next spring is going to look like.
Yeah, and this is just a general thing, a question that we're asking right now is how can we as a college, yes, we're preparing and equipping students for present and future ministry, but also those who are in full-time ministry now or part-time ministry now, they're grinding away, they're going hard. So how can we help serve those people who are in ministry? So again, not just for the future, but presently. And, I believe it's our desire here at Northpoint that we can really be a place of rest and a place of further training and equipping for current pastors and youth pastors and worship leaders. So, with these conferences, we're going to be putting these up on our website, putting them up on our events calendar, getting them out on Facebook. And we want people to come. Of course, it's for the students, but we want it to be for more than the students as well, those who would come and benefit from having a training. If you want to bring your worship team to the worship workshop and everyone there gets some training, I think that's exciting stuff.
It's going to be good.
And it's a question of, how can we serve the church?
Yeah.
I think it's a great thing.
But can I tell you one thing I'm really excited about for the fall?
Oh, what else is left? Tell me more.
Well, I'm having a baby boy.
What?
At the beginning of September. So pretty excited about that. We're due on Labor Day, ironically. But
is that September? Or I'm sorry,
September 5th.
September 5th. Yeah. It is September 5th. Yeah.
So we're right towards the beginning of the semester. We're going to be having a son. And
baby boy.
I'm excited to share that with the Northpoint community.
September 5th. I know of something happening a week or so after that, too.
Oh, really? What's happening?
Well, September 1st is my older brother's birthday, and then September 19th is my younger brother's birthday, but September 14th is going to be another birthday because we're actually welcoming a baby boy into the world. Yeah! So, September 14th, baby boy on the way. Lil J is what I'm calling him right now.
Nice.
Lil J Smith.
So there'll be 2 little boys just running around campus.
Little guys running around.
Oh, it's going to be great.
It's going to be fun.
Man,
a lot of fun.
You just dropped the news right here, man.
Wow, man. So this fall is going to be crazy.
Yes.
and awesome.
Man, I hope you're excited about what's happening at Northpoint this fall. And even talking about all this stuff just makes me so excited to get the students back on campus.
Yeah.
Get the classes going again, get those chapels going again, and all the activities, the patio parties, the clubs, the intramurals, the conferences, everything. It's going to be a good year.
Patio parties.
Patio parties. If you have a better name, let me know.
Matt, our producer, loves SpongeBob, so I kind of feel like patio parties is something that would happen.
That would be
SpongeBob.
Yeah.
But there's actually a lot more stuff that we could talk about, but I think we're going a little long here. So we're going to wrap it up.
There's a few things I wish we could talk about, but we'll save it.
But we are going to have these interviews happening, and one of the people we're going to be interviewing is President Arnett.
So we will get him on the Northpoint Guys
So I think
podcast.
it's going to be exciting because he'll probably want to share a few things too. And
he loves dropping news.
That'll be good.
He really loves dropping some news.
Yeah. So remind him again. So we have an Instagram. Where can they find us? And then we'll sign off.
All right. Is the Instagram just Northpoint Guys? All right. Is it the Northpoint Guys? So the Northpoint Guys, all one word. Had to look at producer Matt because he runs it. So Instagram, the Northpoint Guys.
Love it.
You could also find us. Go to the Northpoint Facebook page and then all the links there, and then all of our videos as well. Whether you're watching it, on video or whatever, or also on the Northpoint Bible College YouTube page. So you can find us there. Apple Podcasts, Northpoint Guys, search us there. Spotify, all the podcast places. Man.
Yeah. So there are a lot of ways to connect even over the summer. So, students or even alumni, like, if you're wondering what's happening at Northpoint or, you're going to be coming back soon, but yeah, of course you're listening to this podcast. So that's great. But also, check out the website, check out the event calendar, see what's going on the Facebook page. So there's ways to stay connected.
Yep.
Yeah. So, well, we're going to sign off. How about, let's get spiritual for a moment and pray for the students who are gone over the summer. So I'll go ahead and lead us in that.
Go for it.
All right. Why don't you pray with us? God, thank you for summer at Northpoint. And we have seasons in life and we have seasons in a school like this. And I just pray for all the students out there, Lord, that this would be a time of rest and rejuvenation for them. Lord, I pray that, they would be hungry and thirsty for you. Lord, that during this time where maybe it's a little less scheduled and not a big course load, that they would have times of rest and just spend that time with you, even as they just enjoy their summer activities. Draw them close to you, Father. And we thank you for all the good things that are happening. We thank you, Lord, for the things that we're anticipating and looking forward to this fall semester. We ask that you would just bring the students back in safety. And Lord, give us the energy and vitality to serve you and to worship you with all of our heart and soul and mind and strength. And God, we pray for all our alumni and others who you may be listening or watching. We just ask that you would bless them. And I think the greatest thing that we can ask is just that we would know you. So God, we ask that you would just reveal your glory, show yourself to us. And we thank you for all the good gifts that you've given and are giving. And we pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
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 Well, thank you so much for watching or listening to the Northpoint Guys podcast. We are produced beautifully, I might add, by our producer, Matt Caforio.
There he is. Right
does an outstanding job. A huge shout out to Chloe Primus for helping us build this studio and decorating and all that. And for the audio version, she is the voice of the podcast.
That's true.
That's true. If you've only watched us, check us out on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and you can hear the voice of the podcast introduce us, Chloe Primus. But thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're as excited about the fall as we are. And so whether you're a new student, whether you're a returning student, whether you're an alumni, whether you're a friend, whether you're a prospective student, and you're just checking us out to try to figure out, hey, what's Northpoint really like?
Yeah, what is it?
We're so glad you're here. And so we're looking forward to seeing you next week.